It's been over 4 decades since MASH * left our screens, but its legacy still resonates with millions around the world. From the witty Hawkeye Pierce to the no-nonsense Margaret, Hot Lips, Houlihan, these unforgettable characters shaped one of the most iconic television shows of all time. But where are the stars now? In this video, we'll take you on a nostalgic journey to see how the cast of MASH * has changed over the years, and what they're up to in 2025. You may be surprised by who's still in the spotlight, and how time has transformed these beloved actors. Alan Alda, who portrayed Captain Benjamin Franklin Hawkeye Pierce in MASH *, was 36 when he took on the role of the brilliant, wisecracking surgeon who used humor to cope with the horrors of war. His performance earned widespread acclaim, yet life after MASH * brought personal struggles. Alda remained married to his wife Arlene Weiss, though their marriage endured lengthy separations due to his career. They had 3 daughters, Eve, Elizabeth, and Beatrice, but he later revealed emotional distance and regrets over missed time with them. Alda was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2015, which severely limited his public appearances. Financially secure with an estimated net worth of $10 million, Alda became reclusive, avoiding major industry events and turning down major projects due to declining health. His relationship with some co-stars deteriorated over disputes during MASH *''s final seasons. Despite a charismatic public image, Alda battled deep-seated anxiety, a strained family life, and survivor's guilt after multiple colleagues died young. Now 89, he lives a quiet life in New York, largely out of the spotlight, occasionally writing but rarely engaging with fans or media. Loretta Swit, who brought strength and complexity to Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan, was 35 when she joined MASH star. Her portrayal of the tough head nurse earned respect, but Swit's post-series years were plagued by disappointment. She married actor Dennis Houlihan in 1983, but their union ended in divorce less than a decade later amid allegations of infidelity and career conflicts. They had no children, and Swit later expressed sorrow over never starting a family. Though she advocated for animal rights and continued to act sporadically, major roles eluded her. Swit faced a series of personal tragedies: her brother's suicide in 1992, the loss of close friend McLean Stevenson, a failed investment that wiped out much of her savings in 2001, and a brief hospitalization in 2009 due to heart complications. Now 87, she lives alone in Los Angeles, relying on residuals from MASH * and charity work for purpose. Her net worth is estimated at just under $1 million, and she rarely makes public appearances due to declining mobility and reported memory issues in recent years. Jamie Farr, beloved for his portrayal of Corporal Maxwell Q. Klinger, the cross-dressing soldier desperately seeking discharge, was 38 when he began his comedic yet poignant role on MASH star. Off-screen, Farr's life was a contrast of turmoil and resilience. He married Joy Ann Richards in 1963, and they had 2 children, Jonas and Yvonne, but the family was strained by Farr's long absences and increasing depression following the show's end. His career stalled afterward, leaving him reliant on guest appearances and commercial work. Financial strain hit in the late 90s due to poor real estate investments, forcing him to downsize and sell memorabilia. Farr reportedly struggled with identity, trapped in a character that overshadowed his real self. A bout with colon cancer in 2006 further isolated him, and he admitted in a 2018 interview to contemplating suicide during his darkest years. Now 90, he lives in Ohio in a modest home near his birthplace. Despite a diminished public role, he remains beloved by loyal fans. His estate is worth approximately $800,000, a fraction of what it might have been if his post-MASH * career had flourished. William Christopher, who played the gentle and devout Father Francis Mulcahy, was 40 when MASH * began. Known for his quiet strength and moral compass, Christopher became a symbol of compassion on the show. Off-camera, his life was shadowed by personal heartbreaks. He married Barbara O'Connor, and together they adopted 2 sons, John and Ned, the latter of whom was diagnosed with severe autism. Caring for Ned consumed much of their lives and strained their marriage, though they never divorced. Christopher struggled to find acting roles post-MASH*, often turned down for being too soft-spoken or typecast. Financial difficulties emerged in the 1990s when Barbara suffered a stroke, leading to enormous medical bills. He reportedly worked odd voice gigs and small theater productions to stay afloat. Christopher endured several tragedies: his brother's untimely death in 1993, a house fire in 2001, and deep depression following the loss of close friends from the show. He passed away from small cell carcinoma on December 31, 2016, at the age of 84. His estate was modest, valued at around $500,000, much of it lost to long-term medical and caregiving costs. Harry Morgan, who portrayed the wise and no-nonsense Colonel Sherman T. Potter, joined MASH*, in 1974 at age 59. Though admired for his commanding presence, Morgan's later years were marked by personal and legal troubles. He had 4 sons with his second wife, Eileen Deschon, but one son died of a heroin overdose in the late 1980s, which devastated the family. Morgan was arrested in 1996 for spousal battery, a shocking blow to his public image. Though the charges were dropped, the incident deeply strained his marriage. He suffered from recurring bouts of arthritis and memory loss, leading to early signs of dementia. After MASH*, he took on smaller TV roles, but his career never reached the same heights. A fire destroyed part of his Brentwood home in 2002, and his health deteriorated in the following years. Morgan passed away from pneumonia on December 7, 2011, at the age of 96. At the time of his death, his estate was estimated at $2.5 million, mostly from residuals and investments, though much had been spent on medical care and legal fees over the years. Gary Berghoff, who played the innocent and emotionally intuitive Corporal Walter Radar O'Reilly, was just 29 when MASH*, launched. Despite his warm on-screen persona, Berghoff struggled mightily with fame and anxiety. He left the series before its conclusion, citing exhaustion and family tension. His marriage to Janet Gale dissolved shortly after, with custody battles over their daughter Gina dragging on for years. A second marriage to Elizabeth Bostrom brought 2 sons, Miles and Jordan, but ended in 2005 amid allegations of infidelity and financial mismanagement. Berghoff attempted to reinvent himself as a painter and inventor, but success was limited. Financial hardship forced him to sell personal items, including his Emmy. He suffered 2 heart attacks, declared bankruptcy in 2010, and withdrew from the public eye almost completely. Reports suggest he lives in a rural part of Florida, largely alone, with minimal contact with former cast members. Now 81, his estate is estimated to be under $300,000, though exact figures remain unclear due to unpaid debts and legal disputes with former business partners. Mike Farrell, who joined MASH*, in 1975 as Captain B.J. Honeycutt, brought a grounded, empathetic presence to the role of a surgeon torn between duty and longing for home. Farrell was 36 at the time, and though his character was devoted to family, his real-life relationships proved far more troubled. He married actress Judy Farrell in 1963, and they had 2 children, Michael and Aaron, but the marriage ended in 1983, strained by Mike's growing activism and time spent away. His second marriage to Shelley Fabre brought temporary peace but became fraught with financial disputes and a lengthy separation. Farrell's post-MASH*, work was sparse, and his outspoken political views alienated producers and studios. He fell into near obscurity in the 1990s, living on royalties and making rare documentary appearances. He experienced multiple personal tragedies, including the suicide of a close friend in 1994, a near-fatal car accident in 2001, estrangement from his son, and chronic back pain that led to opioid dependency. Now 86, Farrell lives quietly in a modest home in California. His net worth is estimated at $1.2 million, though though he has spoken of ongoing financial concerns and health issues limiting his activities. Kelly Nakahara, who portrayed the gentle and dependable Lieutenant Kelly Yamato, was just 25 when she joined MASH * in 1973. Despite her warm on-screen charm, her real life was filled with painful setbacks. Married to David Wallet, with whom she had 4 children, Nalani, David Jr., Davidia, and Kimo, Nakahara juggled motherhood with an industry that rarely cast Asian American women in leading roles. She faced decades of typecasting, racism, and rejection. After MASH *, she turned to painting and community theater but struggled financially. Her daughter Davidia died in a car accident in 1999, a trauma that sent Kelly into deep depression. She was also diagnosed with diabetes and later battled aggressive cancer. By the late 2010s, she had largely withdrawn from public life. Despite her hardships, she remained an advocate for diversity in Hollywood until her final years. She passed away on February 16, 2020, at the age of 72 from cancer. At the time of her death, her estate was valued at approximately $300,000, much of it tied to her artwork, which continues to be appreciated posthumously. David Ogden Stiers joined MASH * in 1977 as Major Charles Winchester, a refined and aristocratic surgeon who clashed with the unit's culture but gradually became part of its heart. Stiers was 35 when he took on the role, and though critically praised, he struggled with personal isolation. Never married and having kept his sexuality private until late in life, Stiers admitted to long periods of loneliness. His strained relationship with his conservative family led to years of estrangement. Though he found voice acting success with Disney, particularly in Beauty and the Beast, his on-screen career waned. He lived a secluded life in Oregon, where he battled bladder cancer in silence. He was devastated by the deaths of MASH * co-stars and friends, and in his later years suffered from depression and chronic pain. Stiers passed away on March 3, 2018, at the age of 75. He left behind no children and a modest estate valued at around $1.8 million, most of which was donated to public radio and arts programs, causes he quietly supported throughout his life. Larry Linville, who portrayed the inept and tightly wound Major Frank Burns, was 33 when MASH * began in 1972. Linville's brilliant depiction of the bumbling antagonist became iconic, but it cast a long shadow over the rest of his career. Typecast and overlooked for more nuanced roles, he struggled to find meaningful work post-MASH *, appearing mostly in guest roles and low-budget films. Linville married 5 times, first to actress Kate Geer, with whom he had a daughter, Kelly. The subsequent marriages, each shorter and more turbulent than the last, were marked by emotional distance and career frustrations. He battled severe health issues in his later years, including lung cancer and pneumonia, which led to the removal of part of his lung. Financially drained by alimony and medical bills, he lived modestly in his final years. Friends said he was deeply lonely, especially after being estranged from his daughter during her teenage years. Linville died on April 10, 2000, at age 60 from complications following surgery. At the time of his death, his estate was valued at roughly $250,000, a small sum considering his early fame, most of which was left to his daughter. Jeff Maxwell, who played Private Igor Straminsky, the wisecracking mess hall cook, was 30 when he joined MASH * in 1973. Though never a main character, Maxwell became a fan favorite, yet his off-screen life bore little of the laughter his role provided. After MASH *, his acting opportunities dwindled, and he turned to writing and voice work, often uncredited. Maxwell married his college sweetheart, Dana Roth, and they had one daughter, Clara, but Dana left him in 1982 after years of financial instability and Jeff's long absences. Struggling with depression, he developed a dependency on alcohol in the late 1980s, attending rehab multiple times. His home was foreclosed in 1991, forcing him to move into a rented apartment in Burbank. He experienced a resurgence in fan interest during the 2000s through MASH * conventions, but admitted to feeling like a forgotten face. Now 82, he lives a solitary life, surviving off modest royalties and podcast appearances. His net worth is estimated at under $200,000, and though he remains gracious with fans, close friends have described him as a man who never found peace after the show ended. McLean Stevenson, who portrayed the affable and often clueless Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake, was 45 when MASH * began. His decision to leave the show in 1975 proved to be a career misstep, as none of his subsequent projects ever reached the same acclaim. Stevenson struggled to regain momentum, headlining several failed sitcoms and battling bitterness about his professional decline. He married Ginny Fosdick, and they had a daughter, Lindsay, but the marriage suffered from his frequent mood swings and career frustrations. Stevenson also had 2 children from previous relationships, but was largely estranged from them. A heavy smoker, he suffered from hypertension and heart disease in his later years. He became withdrawn and struggled with regret over his departure from MASH *, which he often called the role of a lifetime. Stevenson passed away from a heart attack on February 15, 1996, at the age of 68. His estate was estimated at around $600,000, though legal disputes with former agents and unpaid taxes diminished its final value. Wayne Rogers, who played the charming and sharp-witted Captain, Trapper John McIntyre, was 39 when he joined MASH * in 1972. His departure after just 3 seasons was surrounded by controversy. Rogers left due to creative differences, but the decision haunted his career. Though he transitioned into finance and became a successful investor, he struggled with the fact that he was forever known as the actor who left too soon. Rogers married Amy Hirsch in 1988, following a bitter divorce from his first wife, Mitzi McWhorter, with whom he had 2 children, Laura and Bill. His second marriage, though longer lasting, was plagued by his emotional distance and obsession with financial markets. Rogers battled prostate cancer in secret for years, refusing treatment until it was too late. He also suffered from strained relationships with both children, particularly his son, who accused him of emotional neglect. By the end of his life, Rogers had become a recluse, reportedly turning down public appearances and even MASH * reunions. He died on December 31, 2015, at age 82 from complications of pneumonia. Despite his quiet final years, his estate was valued at approximately $75 million, mostly from savvy investments, far eclipsing his earnings as an actor. Roy Goldman, who portrayed the recurring role of Corpseman Roy, was 29 when he first appeared on MASH * in 1973. Often seen in the background, Goldman brought a quiet warmth to his scenes, yet his life off-camera was far from serene. A private man, Goldman struggled with alcoholism throughout the 1980s and was in and out of rehab facilities for years. He married his high school sweetheart, Linda, but the marriage ended in a bitter divorce in 1985 after years of instability. They had 1 son, Jacob, with whom Roy had a turbulent and often estranged relationship. Financial difficulties plagued him after his acting career dried up in the late 80s. He worked sporadically as a security guard and delivery driver to make ends meet. A fall in 2006 led to chronic back pain and further isolation. Though still alive at 81, Goldman lives in a small assisted living facility in Van Nuys, relying on Social Security and minimal MASH * royalties. His net worth is estimated to be under $50,000, and friends have described him as a ghost of his former self, though appreciative of the rare fan letter that still arrives. Sal Viscuso, best known for his off-camera voice as the PA announcer on MASH *, was 28 when he joined the cast in 1976. Though never seen, his disembodied voice became an iconic part of the series' atmosphere. Viscuso went on to act in several sitcoms, but none brought the recognition or satisfaction he sought. He married stage actress Carla Jennings in 1979, and they had 2 children, Marco and Liana, but their marriage was rocky, marred by infidelity rumors and long periods of separation. Carla filed for divorce in 1994, citing emotional neglect. The stress contributed to a breakdown that led to Viscuso's brief institutionalization in 1997. After that, he faded from the public eye, occasionally working in voiceover but mostly living on residual checks. He became reclusive, battling depression and anxiety. In 2010, he declared bankruptcy after a failed investment in a small production company. Now 77, Viscuso lives in a rent-controlled apartment in Santa Monica, reportedly surviving on less than $30,000 a year. While fans remember his voice fondly, Viscuso himself has often said that MASH** was both his greatest triumph and his lifelong curse. Who is your favorite character from MASH? How does it feel knowing that some of the actors are no longer with us? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on future uploads. Thank you for your support.